After a container during Hurricane Beryl smashed a bunch of holes in the side of the boat, in the previous videos we took out all of the delamination. Put new core material in. Then added the first layers of matting. Then prepare the second layers of matting and put those in. Now we continue getting the outside of the boat ready for fairing, which is the last layer of just epoxy, hardener and fairing compounds that you use to make the surface nice and equal again before painting. Later on we will also put new matting on the inside of the boat too, but since we have to deal with weather, mostly the possibility of rain, we first focus as much as possible on the outside of the boat. Started off using a really big disc, now continuing with 40 grit sandpaper on the sander. The first thing we do is taking the edges off the fiberglass matting and making them nice and smooth again and equal to the level of the surrounding part of the boat, the white gel coat or the green anti-osmosis layer on the bottom, to get the shape of the boat back as much as possible just with the fiberglass matting. After laying matting at the surrounding edges, there's often still hair sticking out, mostly from the roving mat, and all of that needs to go away. Just hung up a tarp because it's such a hot day today. It's always hot, but it's just there's no wind today. It makes it extra hot. The goal is not to create a surface that is sticking out from the hull of the boat, but is exactly in line with the original shape. The middle of the matting we roughen up. Rolf roughens it up here with a big 24 grit disc on a standard size variable speed grinder. If this is something you would like to do yourself, you might want to stick to a 6-inch variable speed sander like the sander we're using for sanding. Rolf worked 25 years in the boat building business and has enough experience to work very precise with a grinder, which makes the work go a lot faster. But if you don't have the experience to work extremely precise with a grinder like I don't, a sander would be a better choice. A bit less fast, but also less prone to grinding too deep, and then having to do parts over again. On a sander I would suggest a 6-inch 36 grit sanding pad, one of those green ones. The first part of the edges I would comfortably do with a grinder, because when you just begin making the surface smooth, there's still about 3 mm of mat around the edges. On the repairs I will do on the inside of the boat, I will start with a grinder to get the main edge grinded down, and then do the last part with a sander with the P36 grit discs we have. I'm going to try to film from the top.
You see where is the small gap? If I do like this, you will see, and then I come closer, I push on the both sides of the boat. Then I go up and I check. Here's a little bit too much. Maybe you can show it. You see everywhere is a nice gap. And there it's closing. And I want a small gap because we put some fairing on it. Here. That one is good. Here's a little bit. Here's a little bit. I don't know if you can check it like this. You see it? So if I do like this, you see that here it's closing and here it's closing. So a little bit off.
So we did more matting than
Original.
normal because, you want to explain that? Oh no, the fairing.
Yeah, I want as less fairing as possible. It's better to do it with the fiberglass, the matting, than a lot of, you know, fairing. It's nothing more than epoxy with some glass bubbles, what makes volume, but it has no adhesive strength, cohesion inside, and this is all straight. Okay, we cut some mats, but it has to be smooth, and it's still a lot.
There's more work to do more matting and then grind it off nicely. It is more work than do less matting and just put more fairing over it.
It's higher quality.
But it's higher quality and end up with a stronger result.
And it's in epoxy.
Most people prefer to grind less because fairing is more fun and more easy. But yeah,
We do the shitty stuff.
we go for the strongest result.
I don't care.
I want to take a quick moment to thank all of you guys for watching, and a special thanks to all of the patrons. The upper tier patrons are on the wall of the boat. Thank you guys. Without you guys, I would not have been able to do this. After Rolf grinded the repair into its shape, the next step is to roughen the whole surface up with a sanding machine. The sanding machine will make nice equal grooves in the whole surface, and that ensures the best possible adhesion for the fairing compound. You guys who have seen my videos in the past know that I'm not talking from personal experience. I have been learning and I'm relaying in understandable language to me what I've learned myself. Then Rolf checks which parts still need to go deeper, and I sand it deeper. Now we're gonna rough up the sides around this area with 80 grit. Looking good. Change the tarp because the sun is pretty hot. Next one. And then here on the front of the boat is a repetition of all what we just talked about. First with the grinder, taking the edges down. Then looking which areas still need to be grinded down deeper. Now we're going to do the same as we did before, roughing it up around it. with 80, and with 40 this with the machine. Then Rolf looks which areas still need to be done more. I then clean the repairs with acetone, and this means we are ready for fairing. In next week's video, we are going to be fairing the repairs and making them ready to be painted. Thank you guys for joining on this process of getting her back into the water, and I'll see you next week.